Hi, good evening. This is Alcan. Welcome back to my channel. Well, 20 years ago tonight, a very tragic incident occurred that shocked the foundations of the city long before 9/11. Um, January 3rd, 1999. It's one of those transition years. Of course, the popular song of the time is, of course, 1999 by Prince, since the millennium was not too far away, less than 365 days away. Of course, this 21st century would start a year after that. The mayor of New York was Rudy Giuliani. The president, of course, is Bill Clinton. They both had sex scandals and other scandals. They survived, and they're on the way out. And the replacements have made histories for all the wrong reasons. Of course, Bill Clinton's replacement, a controversial election in the 2000, and Giuliani's replacement, fortunate 9/11. Um, Giuliani, of course, is very controversial because a lot of stuff happened underneath. Even though he cleaned up the city, he stepped on a lot of toes. Of course, one of them was New Directions, and it came back to bite him a year later when they won and knocked out Willie James. So, and ending the Tom and TW bus organization and that union. Okay, well, what happened is on this particular day, it was very steady rain coming down. If this would have been below 32 degrees, it would have been a heavy snowstorm, probably a nor'easter, but it was coming down in buckets. Well, a young lady woke up that morning, tried to do a screenplay, hopefully make it big in Hollywood. Young man woke up with mental health problems. Don't remember what the heck he was doing other than being at a music store and in a park not far from the 23rd Street station. I woke up that morning. I had to get to work. I had the AM shift, on the N line in Astoria. Well, this is the story of Kendra Weddell, lady in the late 20s, early 30s. She was hoped to hit it big in Hollywood as a screenwriter. What happened is all this is we had a chaos with the rain. There was delays. People were missing. People were out of place. So I had to operate a train earlier than I was supposed to. Everything seemed to be a little chaotic, but by the afternoon, everything was normalizing. And then around 1604, an entering left Still Avenue. I had an interval that was leaving behind it 10 minutes later, 1614. For those who don't understand military time or European time, 1604 and 1614 is 4:04 and 4:14 in the afternoon. Both trains supposed to go to Astoria. My train is supposed to go to Astoria, and then I take it back to the yard, City Hall, just for storage for the morning rush hour. Well, there was a individual that came and on his day off, and his first run was the 1604 hour, Stillwell on the N line heading to Astoria. My interval was the last run, then the layout. So we took off at respective times. Meanwhile, you know, Kinderwell was doing whatever she was doing, and then this probably doing her script, trying to make it big in Hollywood. She gets a call from a friend, and she's asked her to come see her, so she does. Around the time Andrew Goldstein, he's at the Virgin Music Store, uh, checking out music or whatever he was doing there. Slowly but surely, he was walking towards Madison Park, I think it's what's called, 23rd Street. You know, it's pouring rain still. Maybe not as heavy as earlier, but and eventually he gets to 23rd Street sitting on a bench in the rain. Well, you know, like I said, this person had a history of mental illness. Ironically, me and Andrew Goldstein went to school in the same area. Not the same school, but the same area. I was at Walton, he was in Bronx Science. He could have gone on bigger and better things in college, but his mental illness dashed all those hopes. He's not taking his medication, he's having problems, he abused women, all kinds of problems. So now, as we're getting closer and closer to Manhattan, I'm leaving City Hall Station. We weren't operating Manhattan Bridge because it was closed for repairs back then. Leaving City Hall Station, heading towards Canal Street. Somewhere around there, we get a radio transmission saying there's a situation at the station, mentally disturbed person at 23rd Street. You know, proceed with caution and all that stuff. So, eventually, what happened is he's sitting in the park in the rain. You see Kendra Woodell. He decides to follow her into the subway. They end up at the end of the station, beginning with the train, northbound train comes in. So he asked her for the time. She told him what it was. So a little time later, the 1604 out of Stillwell was about to enter the station at 23rd Street, 5th Avenue. He goes up to her again and he says, "It's time. Boy, it's your time to go." As the train was entering the station, he pushed her in front of the train, decapitating her and killing her. That Motorman was never the same. Unfortunately, about a year later, they let him go. Stupid civil service law wouldn't allow him to stay on. We don't show what the reason is, but you know, the agency that back then was not very considerate. So it wasn't until I got to 8th Street, we're told stop and stay. There was a 12-9. Now, we weren't aware what was going on. We got the transmission earlier about a mentally disturbed person at the station, and the wrong assumption was, okay, maybe he got himself killed. So, meanwhile, we had to kick everybody off the train. We had to divert passengers from entering the station because, you know, the train's not moving, everything's on the express track. So, while we were waiting out, there's another train headed us at 14th Street, Union Square, and of course, the incident train. Sometime later, the station agent decided to get out and get some coffee, and he asked us for anything, and you know, we're okay, good. This is my first day and trying to get on a diet. I picked the wrong day to go on a diet. One passenger came up. We told him, hey, the train's not running because, you know, an incident happened. He basically shoots himself. I said, well, I think that's what happened. The guy killed himself. We were not prepared for what was going to happen next. That's the city in New York for you. So, funny, we never heard the ambulance on 8th Street. So, the clerk comes back with the shocking news. Yes, there was a 12-9. Somebody got hit by a train, but it wasn't the mentally disturbed person that got hit. He told us what happened to a young lady, blonde hair or something, was pushed in front of the train. Yeah, I was devastated. Shocked and angry. Devastated. I mean, if this guy didn't show up for work on time because of the way the rain was, I would have been not one operating that train. So unfortunately, Kendall Waddell was pushed in front of the oncoming train by Andrew Goldstein. She was killed. Decapitated. Ugly scene. We had to wait a while until they cleared the tracks so all the trains can move. And they told me to run light. Well, after a little while, we were all running. Now I get to 23rd Street. I see the spot where the sand is covering up the blood on what was left of the poor woman. They got everybody off the track. Now they stopped the train and they held me for a certain period of time. I don't know what the heck for. And you know, I already had a 12-9. This does not help. I didn't know I had what they call post-traumatic stress disorder at the time. But it's like one of the darkest days of my transit career. To make matters worse, as was getting to 34th Street, that train now is having problems. The incident train that killed Kendall Waddell, they couldn't get it to work. And it was causing problems. And now, all of a sudden, now they short a train. Now they got service messed up even more. They needed to put my train back in service, so I managed to operate again around 34th Street in passenger service all the way to Astoria. And because of the loss of the train, they decided to lay up my train, and that was the end for me. I was extremely lucky that I wasn't operating the train. And I think Andrew Goldstein was extremely lucky I wasn't either, because if he came and told me that he needed a doctor, I think I would have lost it and did something to him. So, but at the end, he's in jail. He's doing 23 years. He could have gotten more, but unfortunately, the district attorney in Manhattan botched up the case several times. I know he's going to say otherwise, but the only reason he's doing the 23 now is because he finally pleaded guilty. They botched up the case several times. You could check that on Google if you like. My son did. And it's, you know, and I see him in Google. The story. There he is, reprint from the New York Times. I remember curly hair in the black leather jacket. Not a very comfortable feeling. I mean, to this day, I still think about this incident. It's heartbreaking. It really is. So this is Al Can saying good so long for now, and don't forget to stop. Happy New Year. Night.